Hi, I'm Tim. Welcome to our channel, and thanks for logging on. If you enjoy these videos, do me a favor right now and subscribe to our YouTube channel here at Watchbox Reviews. I'd really appreciate it, and I could send watch reviews like this to your inbox every day as soon as tomorrow morning. If you like this watch, you can buy it, and 1,700 of its friends buy, trade, and sell luxury watches 24 hours a day and globally on thewatchbox.com. So this one is for real. I've previously done a video of a Rolex Baselworld mock-up of this watch. This is a runner, a true pre-owned timepiece ready for purchase right now. The latest in Rolex GMT design, this is the GMT-Master II 126711, the first ever rose gold and stainless steel two-tone GMT. The timepiece is resplendent in its bicolored Cerachrome bezel, rose gold, of course Rolex's proprietary Everose, and 904L stainless steel, which Rolex has rebranded as Oyster Steel. It's solid, it's substantial, it's handsome, and in my opinion, two-tone works better in the year 2018 with rose gold rather than yellow. Now the watch does have a handsome look and a sizable fit. Big at 40 millimeters with a super case profile. It looks 42, but it wears 40. So it's not oversized, though it does have impressive presence. 40 millimeters from 9 to 3 across the round of the case, that's not including crown or crown guard. It's a reasonably slim watch. At 12.1 millimeters thick, you'll have no trouble slipping it under a tight sleeve or a dress cuff should you desire. From lug to lug, familiar measurement of 48 millimeters, and if you include the solid end links of the bracelet, you find that the watch is 51 millimeters across the wrist. And I'll try to move my wrist away so you can get a better sense of it in proportion. It's a handsome watch, and I believe you could wear it on a wrist as small as about 14 centimeters in circumference, with a handsome proportion as well as physical security. Now you will note that the bracelet is quite robust. Solid center links, solid end links, a full milled out clasp. These are not new features in the world of Rolex, but if you haven't owned a Rolex made after 2005, you've never experienced what this is like. A modern steel Rolex feels like one of the yellow gold pieces of yore, and a two-tone piece with steel and gold feels like full gold from a previous generation. You will note that the Oyster Bracelet is nicely executed and premium. A combination of satin finished flanks polished down the center, the outer shoulders are polished, all removable links are removed with screws. Even the clamshell is beautifully executed as it fits flush laterally and flush vertically. When you pull it up, you can see that there's a well and a recess, so it always sits completely flat. And you will note straight through rose gold, Rolex Everose. It has a high amount of copper to make it red and a high percentage of platinum so it never oxidizes or fades to yellow. Rolex EasyLink 5mm tool-free adjustment, present and correct. It's the equivalent of adding or removing one sizable link, and you need no tool to do so. Closes with a snick and a snap, opens just as solidly. Now we can get closer to the dial because the watch is off the wrist. Give ourselves a bit more light. Okay. The bezel. It's a combination of black and brown Cerachrome. The partition between the two colors is seamless. There is no blending. The bezel itself is made of rose gold, and as with all GMTs, it is a bidirectional rotating bezel. You can see that it remains a super case in profile with squared off flanks and sheared edges, but the bezel itself imparts a degree of elegance that is unique to the model. Honestly, this and the rose gold model are both the first GMTs to employ rose gold. That's right, the first ever Rolex GMTs to employ rose gold. So the look is still a bit of a sensation and by definition a novelty. You'll also note that Cerachrome, like sapphire, is essentially scratch resistant in all but the most traumatic instances. If you're not one to shatter a sapphire, you're probably never going to scratch this bezel. The bezel base is rose gold, but so too are the wells. They are recesses within the bezel that are filled with rose gold so that they're permabonded and will never oxidize. Of course, because it is a bidirectional rotating bezel, this is not a dive bezel, it's a GMT bezel, and you can use it in conjunction with the independent 24-hour hand. Should you set that to GMT, you then offset per the local GMT offset of whatever airport or port of call you're entering, and you can use the bezel to temporarily read 3 time zones. But if you're not diving and you're not using the watch as life-saving equipment, you can absolutely line up the index and remember that 6 is 15, 12 is 30, 18 is 45, and just use it as a timing organ as you would a dive bezel. On the surface, When lives aren't at stake, that's fine. The dial is all of black gloss with rose gold appliques. Rolex makes its entire dial. And I wish I could show you. There we go. You can see just how lofty those appliques are. They are all substantial, and not only are they essentially applied by hand, but they are also beautifully lustrous. The polishing done at the micro level, at the periphery of those hands and indices, is the definition of refinement. Rolex excels in this kind of craft art, and I do call it craft art because though Rolex makes close to 1 million watches a year, they are beautiful, just objectively beautiful, in the same way that art is. There's an integrity about the product you get from Rolex that, while relatively impersonal, is also tremendously gratifying. Now, the timepiece features Rolex's new caliber 3285, so you still have the ability to set the local hour hand independently as you travel, and notice it doesn't stop the seconds, it doesn't halt the watch, it doesn't affect precision, but if you do wish to hack or stop the seconds hand, you can easily do that. Now you can set the time and you can set everything in sync. Also important is the fact that due to the new Chronergy escapement, a thinner mainspring barrel wall, and an upgraded train and mainspring, the watch now has a 70-hour power reserve, still smooth automatic winding, still 100 meters water resistant, still a screw-down crown, hacking, dual time, but you do get that 70-hour power reserve compared to the old 48. Still a 31 joule automatic. Of course, it is a COSC certified Swiss chronometer. Rolex then cases up the movement and recertifies the watch internally to meet tolerances no worse than +2 -2 seconds per day. COSC standard for a bare movement is -4 +6. So Rolex, in percentage terms, significantly exceeds the COSC as a finished consumer product, a full watch. Now, it does have a full balance bridge and a free-sprung index for shock resistance, an overcoil hairspring for concentric beating in any orientation with respect to gravity, so very precise even if you leave it on its edge on your dresser. And ultimately, it does feature the Breguet overcoil hairspring with a parachrom blue alloy, which is a combination of niobium zirconium that is then oxidized blue, a highly anti-magnetic alloy. All Rolex dial, bezel, case, bracelet, and movement. This is a true manufacturer product. You can see and you can own the latest in pilot's fare from Rolex on our website. And we are back with the Rolex GMT-Master II two-tone 126711 CHNR. As you can see, though, it has a bit of a neo Rootbeer thing going during the day. It's actually beautifully blue with Rolex Chromolite Lume by night. See it and make it yours on our website.